Well, things are going from bad to worse for the man formerly known as Prince Andrew. Bombshell new Jeffrey Epstein files reveal Ghislaine Maxwell sought to procure intelligent, pretty and fun girls from good families in Peru to make a good friend she referred to as Andrew very happy. A person calling themselves A at Balmoral Castle asked Maxwell in an email in 2022 whether she had found him some new inappropriate friends. While person A is not identified in the files, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor conducted a 6-day official visit to Peru in March 2002 to mark the 50th year of his mother's reign. Joining me now is Sky News contributor Kosha Gada. Kosha, what do you say? It just gets worse and worse, doesn't it?
Sure does, Nika, as you said, from bad to worse. Andrew, just like Bill Clinton, who was in the news in the last 48 hours, they've been linked with Jeffrey Epstein and all these sordid affairs for some time now. So it's not new news per se, but just the more these details come dripping out, keeps them in the news cycle. There's more, in Clinton's case, photographic evidence. In this case, more details about words that were exchanged. It's not helpful to them. The betting markets are betting on who else is in the list. Like, when will we actually get new news and new names that haven't yet been revealed? And there's all sorts of people running wild over that as well. And of course, every time this happens, it is one of the rare cases where the Trump administration has faltered with its own base. And they just also are kind of angry at not having all of this laid out in one go, in one fell swoop, and just having more transparency, because everybody is really curious about who else has been involved or was involved with Jeffrey Epstein.
Absolutely, and the drip feeds we've gotten this week have been extraordinary. All of those photos, Bill Clinton in the hot tub, Michael Jackson. It's been fascinating to see what comes out, and as you said, more to come. Let's talk about offshore wind. Donald Trump has halted the construction of all offshore wind projects. We know he is not a fan of renewable energy, but 5 projects in the works from Massachusetts to Virginia have been stopped due to national security risks identified by the Department of War in recently completed classified reports. Well, Kosha, I've got to say, this is another warning to Chris Bowen. I mean, we've already been told about the threat that a number of our renewables projects, particularly the parts made from China, the security threat here, but Donald Trump's taking no chances over there.
It's another reason in the stack of reasons against this. We already have the economic reason, the energy reason that it's not that effective and doesn't really do what it needs to do to support the energy needs of modern civilization. There's the paradox of the environmental region, that birds and wildlife and other things get caught up in it, whales. It's an eyesore, so there's the aesthetic reason, and now you've got the national security reason on top of that. But as we know, this is just such an ideological issue now, and there is an ideological fault line, and people fall on either one side of it or the other. And to those for whom this is dogma, they probably will never abate in that until something is done to protect it or to stop it. But otherwise, it sounds like we're still moving full steam ahead when people that favor these forms of energy are in power.
Yeah, unfortunately, and it's sending us broken backwards in the process. Now, let's talk about the latest Navy fleet. President Trump has announced a new fleet of ships known as the Golden Fleet. As he revealed, he approved plans for 2 new very large battleships. Have a listen to this.
These are the best in the world. They'll be the fastest, the biggest, and by far 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built.
Kosha, the US is ploughing billions into defence. It's serious about arming itself.
For sure, always has been peace through strength. That Reagan-era mantra still holds. The government wastes plenty of money on all sorts of other things, all these fraud stories that are coming out every day. So I think the thinking is that if there's anything to be spending on, this is the bread and butter as part of the DNA of the United States. The subtext here, though, is China, and specifically as it relates to Navy ships and shipbuilding capacity. China is eons and eons ahead of the U.S. right now. It's something that people never would have thought possible, even a few decades ago. They've got something like 200 times the shipbuilding capacity as the U.S. The technology, I think, is still a little bit behind as far as we know for now compared to the U.S. ships, but they just have so much more capacity. And I think that's a subtext here where President Trump is very aware of that. And in the short time that he has left, 3 years left in office, he is trying to really prioritize that and see if the U.S. can close the gap relative to China.
good to see, arming themselves because the threat certainly remains. Kosha Gada, nice to catch up as always. Thanks for joining me and Merry Christmas. Appreciate it.